All right, welcome back to another episode of the Pack 9 Show, the show where we value our elbows, and both of them working quite fine. How about you, Alex? How are your elbows doing?
Trying to see if I could. They said you could lick your elbows or something. I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know.
man. Well, maybe two quarterbacks for the Niners could lick their elbows right now. I don't know.
Oh
But,
no!
man,
No.
what a game, Alex. What a game. The
Woo.
Niners story unfortunately comes to a close. Eagles winning 31-7 in a game that left many disappointed, to say the least. Um, Definitely including us. I thought that the Eagles were going to win, and you thought the Niners were going to win, but we both definitely didn't think it was going to be like this kind of a score. My prediction was 23-19, and yours was 24-20. And maybe that would have happened if everything didn't go wrong for the Niners, right?
Yeah, it was. It was. This might have been the worst game I've ever seen. And I hate that it's with the 49ers. Definitely the worst NFC Championship I've ever seen. It was just everything that could go wrong would go wrong. You know, they must have seen a bunch of black cats or something. It was not looking great. Oh,
Yeah,
it was looking great for a little bit, kind of, but then all of a sudden, by the end of the first half, it got so out of control.
yeah, man. For those who need a little recap, Eagles came out swinging and scored a touchdown on their first drive, and you're like, okay, well, what the heck just happened there? That must have been a good game script. Then you guys fumble the ball on your next drive, and but then it was like a bit of a stalemate, just the 3 and 4 outs on both sides punting the ball. McCaffrey breaks a bunch of tackles and gets in for the touchdown, tying the game at 7-7. And Brock Purdy gets injured, and then Josh Johnson, the fourth string, comes in. He gets injured, and basically the Niners at that point were on offense were just stuck running the ball, and they had Purdy back in, but really just to do handoffs and maybe like one small check down pass, but nothing was happening. And really, I wanted to ask you, like, did they make the right call and not just like throwing McCaffrey back there at quarterback or for Wildcat or something?
It must have crossed their mind, but I thought at least our use check even, he had a good Pro Bowl. He could throw.
Or Debo.
Yeah, like I don't know. It was the first time in my whole entire life watching NFL football where the team couldn't throw the ball. We could literally only run. It was very sad because I've never seen anything like that. It got pretty creative though. Shanahan, props to him, but couldn't do anything. Purdy gets injured on the first drive for the 49ers essentially. Because of Reddick. And the other thing is, how did Reddick, on both injuries, Reddick was unblocked, and so it's like, what happened there? And I was even saying the right side of the line was going to have issues, or that's what I was looking for, and they just got tore up.
Yeah. We definitely said that in our preview of the game last week, too, that this was going to be a game of offensive lines. And, man, the Eagles' offensive line, like for the Niners being like clearly the number one defense in the league over the season, that offensive line for the Eagles made you guys look like garbage.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I will say though, after Purdy fumbles and is injured, our defense was playing lights out. We forced them to 3 punt drives. And 2 of them are 3 and outs, and the other one was a 4 and out. And it's like the defense was playing pretty good.
I don't know about that though. Like in the entire second half of the game, like you guys.
No, in the first half.
You guys didn't force one turnover.
But they didn't.
Entire game.
If you look at the game though, they didn't score those last 2 touchdowns until like towards the end of the first half. Like you gotta, I don't know, when I was watching it, the Niners defense for like the first half only. First half, like all the way to like the last 5 minutes, they were playing really good defense. They did not, if you look at the yards of their drives, after their touchdown, the Eagles had a 6-yard drive, 11-yard drive, a negative 4-yard drive. So it's like they had a chance, but it's like with Josh Johnson really could not get anything going. We did get a touchdown with McCaffrey was basically carrying us. Then Eagles scored right back, and then Josh Johnson fumbles like right next to their end zone. So all of us, it goes from 7-7 all to 21-7 in like 5 minutes. And then that was pretty much gonna be the end of the game. I even turned it off. I couldn't even. Yeah. It was like watching torture.
It was pretty. If Josh Johnson could have just went in there and been average, it would have been okay. But like you were saying, it was only 7-14 before he fumbled the ball, which led to a 3-play, 30-yard touchdown for the Eagles. And I can't put that all on your defense. You're right, like that. So it could have and probably should have been 14-7 going into the next half. But yeah, that next half for your defense, it was just I don't know if you can put that on anything. And not getting any turnovers the entire time is wild for that team. Mm-hmm. Let me look really quick. I don't even know how many times.
Nick Bosa was definitely hurt for something happened to him. If he got,
you only sacked Jalen Hurts once. Mm-hmm. That's wild, you know.
Yeah. Their offensive line, they're definitely as advertised, and Jalen Hurts is fast. And so they got a couple fourth downs that were crucial for them to score. And don't even get me started on that Devontae Smith's no challenge on their first drive. And then I'll say this, the Niners season is over, but we gave the NFL one hell of a entertaining team to watch almost every week. So I'll take that.
And you got a solid team. And not only that, but in the off season last year, there was all that talk if Debo was going to get traded or not, right? And that would have looked like really bad going for your team going into that season. But now it doesn't look that bad. Like you could actually use that as a piece. Your defense is still going to be your defense. Like try and shore up some offensive line issues, and you guys might have some.
And it wasn't even too much of it was really the right side sometimes in games would just not do well on the right side. Trent Williams on the left side, always good. Literally never have to worry about the left side, but that's really cool. But it's like McGlinchey's great and all, but man, sometimes I don't know what's going on over there. And so there's got to be something to get fixed. That was definitely a weakness of ours during the season. But yeah, we got a lot of upside. We're gonna have Trey Lance starting. We'll have Purdy also in case Lance doesn't quite cut it or gets injured again. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. We just signed a defensive coordinator, so we got that going today. And yeah, so a lot of our talent on the roster is still ridiculous, and we're not really losing anyone. So let's go. We'll run it again. Let's run it again.
You'll have Christian McCaffrey for the entire season this time.
Exactly. Yep. And basically no drama. Jimmy G is definitely going to leave this time. Well, actually, I better not say that.
Yeah.
Because who knows? Right. But yeah, there shouldn't be too much drama for the Niners this year. So,
So actually, I think I don't think you actually answered that other question though. Like, would you have started one of those other guys at quarterback instead of just running the ball with Purdy?
Oh yeah. Well, I tried to politically slide away from it, but I personally would have at least tried. I did turn off the game because I was very upset and frustrated and sad. All this negativity, turned it off. I don't know if they even attempted to throw another pass in the second half.
They did a couple, but Brock Purdy only ended up with 4 completions.
I think it was just like screens, right? I think that's all it was, or like little shovel passes. So it's like I would have at least tried. You can threaten the Wildcat. Maybe they just didn't feel comfortable of like the routes and the system, because they do say it's a really hard system to run. You got to know a lot of stuff. So I'm assuming if you try to put in McCaffrey in there, you know, you got to know the names of the plays. You got to call everything. It probably must have been too complex to risk it. But for the last game of the season, potentially, I would have, you know, risked it for the biscuit. So I personally would have put in McCaffrey or Juszczyk to throw. And then who knows? Maybe they're doing a wildcat and they don't throw, you know. And we ran that a couple times when McCaffrey first got. So, you know, who knows? I didn't end up watching any of the press conferences or anything. I'm sure Shanahan said it, but
I mean, what could he say? Yeah, he's come on.
Yeah.
Like if I was Shanahan and some reporter was like, "Why didn't you do that at the end of the game?" I would have looked at him like, "What could I have done?"
Right, exactly.
I am on my fourth string quarterback got injured.
Right.
You
Never
know,
heard
like,
of this.
come on, give me a break.
Yeah, it would have been a great story, but there's literally no way that there's literally no way of winning that game, and it's a shame because I think you know, if we were able to stick with our game plan, I think it would have been a lot closer, and I think we had a shot of winning. I really do, especially because the Niners performed better in the second half for whatever reason. But you know,
yeah, it was just a disappointing game.
Yeah, really. It was, what a way to start off the weekend of championship games, right? So
I know.
Definitely was kind of a bummer but it is what it is. We move forward, and
yeah. And you got some optimism.
Exactly. We got a lot of optimism. I'm feeling like we're one of the top 5 teams going into next year for sure.
Well, that's a good place to wrap this one up. Thanks again for listening to our show. We've covered every Packers game. We covered every Niners game all the way through the season, all the way to the bitter end. And we really, just appreciate the support that you guys have given us watching the videos. And, can't thank you enough. And we still got the Super Bowl preview show coming up soon. We'll recap that once it's done. Ooh. And there'll be some off-season stuff in store after that. So keep the subscribe button on, and you'll get all of our updates when they happen. And we will see you next time.